if he could have cast Force of Will or Mind Break Trap,
it wouldn't have been sufficient.
It wouldn't have mattered because all he could have done is counted the silence.
Yeah.
At which point he had nothing to do anyway. So even though silence was countered, he had no way to interact. So he was effectively silenced either way. So there was absolutely no way he can win that without multiple forms of disruption. At which point, the Gitaxian probe that Bryant cast first would have shown him that information and said, you know what, I don't have enough to go through 2 pieces of disruption. I'll hold off. So it wouldn't have even played out that way.
Now Bryant Cook, besides those silences, has even more anti-control cards in his board. Xantid Swarm is the one that springs to mind. One of the things these players, they knew this was going to be a big event. Bryant Cook knew walking into a Legacy event he'd be facing some Force of Wills. I'm sure he has a plan for it, and that plan has been very effective so far. Bryant Cook on the left, Ben Green on the right. This is the number 7 seed Bryant Cook, and Ben Green, the number 8 seed. So essentially, we've got our 2 upstarts here, the very, very bottom of the standings, pushing everybody out of the way. I bet that Bryant Cook didn't expect to be on the play against anyone, in this top 8. But, lo and behold, Ben Green is here to try to make some trouble for him.
You know what they say, you just got to get into the dance. From then on, it doesn't really matter.
Awesome.
Just you make it, you're in, and all bets are off at that point. Doesn't matter exactly which seed you are, you can make it to the top and you can win the whole thing. So Ben Green studying the list there. I think he may be thinking some of the same things we were. Geez, he's got 4 silence main deck, 2 Xantid Swarm in the board. I need to get very lucky and present a lot of pressure and win this game before Bryant is able to find some of those pieces of protection against my disruption.
And the players have drawn their hand, or are drawing their hands. Bryant Cook on the left, credited as the creator to the Epic Storm. Ben Green on the right in this final match with blue, white, red Delver. One of the key things we've been seeing in this match is just the sheer speed that he can, deal damage to his opponent. Delver plus Geist, for example, that's a fast clock. Anything plus Geist is a fast clock, honestly. But even Delver on its own in the beginning of the game, turn 1 Delver can be very, very fast indeed.
So, if you're just joining us, you're just in time to watch the finals of the StarCityGames.com Legacy Open live from Washington, D.C. I am not Adrian Sullivan, but the guy in the booth with me is, I am Joey Pasco, and this is exciting. We're in for an exciting match,
I am not Joey Pasco, nor Ruben Bressler. You can see Ruben there with the SCG Live shirt.
As he points, me?
Yeah, me. Yeah. That is Ruben Bressler. I'm Adrian Sullivan, and the 3 of us, as well as the entire crew here, make up SCG Live this weekend. And remember, we do these events all over the country. If there's going to be an event near you, you should make sure you go there. The people that are playing in these events have a great time. We have a great staff here at all of these events, side events all over the place. We've got, I think, endless standard and also draft and other events that happen. If you aren't fortunate enough to make it to the end of the day, you can play on while your friend makes the top 8.
Yeah, absolutely. So many cool events happening all weekend, and even if you can only dedicate a few hours, you can show up and play in a side event, or just show up and trade. It's just the community coming together to just kind of play Magic for a whole weekend. It's awesome. It's a great time.
We're going to try to bring our voices down a smidge here because there are very few people left in the room, and our voice can carry all the way across. I don't know that I could throw a football that far, but our voice can go that far.
I can throw a football that far.
Well, you've got a stronger arm than me. Bryant Cook on turn 2 lays a Lotus Petal. Brainstorm off of that Gemstone Mine. You can see that naturally played Star Wars...
A Tundra?
Tundra.
Yeah, Ben seems to either have all of his Tundras altered that way, which I think it's just that one, really, but he seems to draw it a lot.
Volcanic Island into Ponder.
Or it's the first one he fetches. In this case, he just drew it. So Bryant sculpting his hand, and Ben is allowing him to do that. We got a Brainstorm and a Ponder, although this Ponder is going to give Bryant a fresh mystery card off the top. Ben just kind of hanging out. Cuts Bryant's deck and believe, fresh card off the top was, didn't get to see it. Not a good look. So Ben now able to go to his game 2, or his second turn. And he has a Ponder. And we believe possibly that the card that Bryant drew off Ponder was Ponder. Not confirmed.
And the shuffle here from Ben Green does not like what he sees. Let's get a new try.
So both players with a turn 2 Ponder that was not what they wanted. So trying to sculpt their hands a bit. I imagine. See, Bryant is is typically, as that deck is built, is more worried about what his opponent has to disrupt him. And Ben, though, in a situation where he has to worry that Bryant's going to try to go off at any point, and I think it's a little more stressful.
What you got? Show me.
Gitaxian Probe. So we've got Vendilion Click, Force of Will, Spell Pierce, Geist of Saint Traft, Swords to Plowshares, another Force of Will, and a Wasteland. So
that's a pretty interesting hand.
yeah, Wasteland, 2 forces, Spell Pierce, Vendilion Click, Geist of Saint Traft, Swords to Plowshares. So 3 counter spells, 2 3-mana creatures, 1 removal.
Other than that Swords to Plowshares, I don't know if you could get a better hand.
Yeah, he's actually in pretty. He's got some gas there. So Bryant, obviously, this is Gitaxian Probe, not Thoughtseize or Duress or Discard Spell.
Every time I see the Gitaxian Probe, I always want to have him choose one and get rid of it, but that's not how that card works.
Right, you think like, okay, so what's he gonna? Oh, he's not gonna take any of them. I mean, he'd like to take some. He's not gonna. Oh, I hope he doesn't. All right, Brian. Now plays an Underground Sea.
Oh my goodness, I see a Cabal Therapy.
I thought I saw one as well. Yes, that is a Cabal Therapy, and there it is on the table. Cabal Therapy, and this is going to, this is going to draw Force of Will or name Force of Will, I believe.
Those are the 2 options. Oh, there are other options, but those are the 2 most likely.
I mean, he could Spell Pierce it, but Bryant would just either lose a Lotus Petal or a counter off of that Gemstone Mine.
Not a big loss.
Not at all. I'm sure Bryant is fine with that as a response.
Ben Green.
Because not only that, it would if he Spell Pierced it, he just took the Spell Pierce and both Forces of Will out of Ben's hand. So he's going to go ahead and force removing Geist of Saint Traft. So he holds on to a Spell Pierce and 1 Force of Will as his lone counter spells currently.
And you could see him thinking a long time there. A part of the reason it was such a hard think, that Vendilion Click or the Geist of Saint Traft. Geist represents a very fast clock.
Yeah, and that's something that, we talked about before the match. That's one of the fastest clocks he could possibly provide. And, ideally he would land that here on turn 3, play Wasteland, play Geist, and start attacking. But it's potentially way too slow of a clock against Bryant if Bryant's able to just start going off next turn. Did you see what Ben drew?
I did.
What was it?
Ben drew a second Swords to Plowshares. And we're speaking quietly here on this, just to try to avoid giving away our voices carrying clear across the room.
So now we're going to get a good look at Bryant's hand with a Vendilion Click, and maybe not as good of a look as we'd like because of that glare.
Dark Writ.
Yeah, so I see double Dark Ritual.
And I see
Rite of Flame. I see Burning Wish, and a card with monster glare on it.
I cannot say. Okay, that's an Underground Sea?
I think it's an Underground Sea as well. So
Is
Underground
it, though?
Well, I think that's what it looks like.
Yeah,
that's an Underground Sea.
Okay.
Excuse me. So he's got Ritual, Rite, Burning Wish, Underground Sea. Burning Wish goes to the bottom here.
And a mystery card replaces it.
Yeah. Bryant, you want to show us what it was? It may have been a Gitaxian Probe. Didn't get a good look.
Ben Green with a clock in play. It's a 6-turn clock, though.
Yeah, not quite the clock that Geist of Saint Traft would be, but what it did was give Ben information. So I can see he's valuing that information more than the faster clock. I can not fault him for that.
Thinking about Wasteland. Wasteland's a volcanic island. Passes the turn.
Underground Sea from Bryant, and go.
And Ben Green Vendilion Click, Tundra in play. His opponent, Bryant Cook, Gemstone Mine, Underground Sea, Lotus Petal in play. Ben Green passes the turn.
Yeah, Ben at this point just kind of wants to try to ride that click to victory as fast as possible while putting together a handful of disruption for anything Bryant tries to do, anytime Bryant tries to go off. Bryant, on the other hand, wants something like silence so that he can just halt anything Ben could possibly do. A Gitaxian probe into silence, ideal, because he can actually check and see if the coast is fairly clear before he silences. So we're gonna see the probe there. He did indeed draw that in the subsequent turns.
And what's Force of Will, Stifle,
two Swords to Plowshares. And is that a Spell Pierce?
Mm-hmm.
And one other card that we
can't quite see at the very bottom there.
We can get the overlay off for a second. We might be able to see it. Oh, it's
Dazed.
Dazed. That's a better way of doing it, Jeremy.
Good.
That's why he's the director. He's good at this.
I mean, yes, that hand has two Swords to Plowshares, but the rest of that hand is all value.
Yeah, it's pretty much all counter spells or some sort of way to counter something. Cycle, of course, countering a trigger of some sort. And it looks like...
I cannot see.
Well,
Dark Ritual,
something
perhaps?
that cost 1.
I think it might be a Dark Ritual. Oh, maybe it's a Therapy?
It's some sort of other disruption spell.
Duress?
Discard spell. Yeah, it's Duress.
Okay, Force of Will is removed. There are 2 Duresses main deck of Bryant's deck. Scalding Tarn
and go, says Bryant. You guys having as much fun as we are? This is great.
I think so. In for 3. And a pass.
Bryant Cook down to 4 here. Draws Burning Wish. He's going to brainstorm. He can't crack that fetch and survive another turn, another hit from that Vendilion Click. So it's getting pretty hairy for him. Although he did, I believe, did he just draw a red blast? It looked like that. Is that even in the main?
I don't think so.
It must have been something
Burning
else.
Wish, Rite of Flame.
It's like, that doesn't look like it would be there. Must have been Rite of Flame that I've seen.
Now, Bryant Cook has a Scalding Tarn in play. And unless I am misremembering, I believe a volcanic island has been destroyed of Bryant Cook's. That means that Scalding Tarn, all it is a shuffler. There are no more lands left in the deck that he can fetch with it.
Very, very good point. You're right. The volcanic island was wastelanded. So that Scalding Tarn really...
It is a shuffler.
Yeah, it shuffles. At this point, does he want to pay 1 life for a shuffler?
I mean, I think he's at the point where he's got to go.
Yeah.
See what happens. Rite of Flame. Here he is. He's going.
All right, let's see. You know what else I like about Bryant and the way he plays this deck? He lays the cards out perfectly so that you can count. You can get the storm count right in front of you, like a dredge player would, like the very good experienced dredge players would lay out their graveyard. Bryant does that with his storm. At least he did it in the one match where we watched him earlier, and it's a nice way to display the storm count and which spells were cast. So very camera aware, and that's a good thing.
Very few people left in this hall.
Yeah, you can see about half of them in that shot. The other half are sitting over here doing commentary and directing.
Spell Pierce on the Rite of Flame.
And that's 1 more for the storm count. And if Bryant wants to continue to go off, he's got a storm count of 2 at the moment.
I don't know that he has any choice. Lotus Petal is sacrificed.
Is it another Rite of Flame? Ben thinking about his options. We know he has a Daze.
And he's like, yep, that works. Okay.
Maybe wait until that Daze can actually keep Bryant from doing too much. Ben thinking, you know what, if I can run him out of a couple more cards and then Daze something and cause him to fizzle, I can get this game.
He goes to 3, and then he's like, wait a second, I might do something. Bryant, of course, knows exactly what is in Ben's hand. He has just looked at it.
Right, so he goes ahead and seriously? Oh.
It's been there for a while.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah.
Okay. Brian goes ahead and cracks the Scalding Tarn and gives Ben the opportunity to stifle it, but Ben doesn't bite on that one.
And you can see no extra land there. Dark Ritual. It's a very weird one. The eyeball floating in the cloud, Dark Ritual.
Yeah, is that Mercadian Masks, I believe?
I've always preferred like the classic old school. Another one.
Yeah, so we can see that Storm Count right now is first Rite of Flame, Spell Pierce, second Rite of Flame, and then the Ritual, and I can't remember what that other spell is, but it should be 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Storm Count is 6.
For those of you who are just joining us, this is the finals of the StarCityGames.com Open Series here in Washington, D.C. This is Bryant Cook on the left with the Epic Storm, and he is credited as the creator of this deck, and Ben Green on the right with Blue White Red Delver. This finals match represents, I guess at this point, we are at about 11 p.m. here.
Yep.
It has been a good, 15 hours today that we've been broadcasting.
So it wasn't a Storm Count of 6 because one of those cards I was counting was a Scalding Tarn. That's why I couldn't remember what spell it was. It was not a spell. But Burning Wish is the 6th spell, and it resolves Finding Past in Flames for Bryant Cook. Lotus Petal wasn't cast this turn. So the first spell was the Rite of Flame and Spell Pierce. Then another Rite of Flame, double Dark Ritual, Burning Wish was 6.
And some interesting notes on Twitter. Thank you to Mr. Easter, who noticed that we did not have the word finals down there. It is the finals here. And iPad MTG, I agree with you. Bryant is showing some incredible patience waiting this long to go off. And one of the things is every turn that you wait is another card to potentially build up the storm. And it does require a little bit of danger because something could go wrong. So this is definitely a moment of patience here from Bryant. And now we're seeing the culmination of it. Will he be able to push it through into a victory?
Yeah, Ben taking a look at what Bryant has available in the graveyard for that Past in Flames.
And Mark Sun, also known as @AllSunsDawn, thinks that that Brainstorm a few moments ago would have been an interesting choice to consider Spell Piercing. I'm not sure if that's correct or not, but it's definitely something to think about. A Daze from Ben Green.
So, question from Corey Baker mentions Bryant maybe cast Brainstorm this turn as well.
Yes.
Was that all this turn?
Brainstorm was this turn.
Well, look at that. I started counting at the right. I for some reason, didn't even realize it was the same turn.
Well, I mean, it has been probably a 12-minute turn.
Sure. Maybe 10 minutes. 9 minutes.
8.
Okay, 12.
And
so the storm count may be much higher. I was counting starting from the Rite of Flame, but yeah, it has been pointed out that Brainstorm was this turn and potentially one or two of those Lotus Petals.
At this point,
one of those, okay.
At this point, Bryant has built up so much mana that got a duress here.
So not only building storm count, recasting a lot of cards from his graveyard with all the cards that provide him mana, the rituals, the dark rituals, the Rite of Flames, the Lotus Petals. So storm count is way high. Not 100% sure what it is exactly, but you saw duress there.
Now that is not his hand. No, that is the graveyard.
No, yeah, he is able to play all these cards from the graveyard, and he is mostly playing rituals, so he's building up a ton of mana. There's a Gitaxian Probe. He says, you know what? I can go to one. One is still alive. I'll do it. Let's see your hand. Of course, he's already seen.
Lion side timing, that's funny. A little bit more mana, a little bit more storm.
At 1 life, Bryant Cook looks like he's about to take game 1 off of Ben Green.
It's not over yet, though.
No, it's certainly not. He knows Ben's hand. And he has got a plan.
Looking through a graveyard full of library manipulation that he can cast. Starts with Ponder. Needing to find a final kill spell.
He would like a Burning Wish.
He draws a Lion's Eye Diamond. Second Lion's Eye Diamond. Sacrifices that as well. Casts a Gitaxian Probe for mana.
Yeah, can't cast it for life anymore, not for Phyrexian mana. Finds a Cabal Therapy there.
He takes the Swords to
to
Plowshares. Burning Wish.
Leaving Ben with 2 lands in hand. And there's that Burning Wish. Casting that. Gonna find really his choice of storm spells. I mean, he could Grape Shot him. I think it's enough. He says... Grape Shot. Yeah, there's some laughter here, and yeah, going to game 2 here. Grape Shot for the win for Bryant Cook.
Okay, wow, that was some really excellent play, and I definitely have to agree with iPad MTG on Twitter that was an excellent amount of patience that Bryant showed there. Now we have more than this little game here to be thinking about. We have a Star City Games premium giveaway. While these players begin their sideboarding, we're going to tell you a little bit about the Star City Games premium giveaway. Now, Star City Games Premium, an amazing resource. If you're not already reading Star City Games Premium, you should be. I know I read it every day that there's new content, which is Monday through Friday. And one of the things that you can do to get premium, you can buy it, of course, or if you are lucky, one person out there can get a free year of Star City Games Premium by answering a trivia question that Joey has very carefully considered. And what you do, hashtag SCG Premium, tweet hashtag SCG Premium and the correct answer. One amongst you will be chosen, if you have done both of these 2 things, to receive a full year of Star City Games Premium.
That's just under 12 months.
Just under, is it? Okay. What is your trivia question there, Sir Joey?
So the question is, what archetype won the last 2 Legacy Opens but did not show in the top 8 of SCGDC?
Wow, I like that one a lot. Yeah. What archetype won our last 2 SCG Opens?
Legacy
Opens, pardon me, but did not even appear in the top 8 here today? Tweet your answer, hashtag SCG Premium, and if you are amongst those people with the correct answer and that hashtag, you may be selected. One of you will be for a free year of Star City Games Premium.
There you see the guys going to the sideboards, so we're going to go to the sideboards as well. Not the sideboard with Ruben Bressler, because he's obviously over there typing up the match, but these players' sideboards, as you can see on screen.
Now, we're going to try to be a little careful here in our vocal levels.
Yes.
There are very few people left in the room, and we don't want to accidentally tell Bryant Cook to put Xantid Swarms in against a Force of Will deck. I'm sure he hasn't thought of that.
He may not have. What we could do, I can go over and kind of like sing like Michael Jackson songs while you evaluate what you think they should do.
Our director gave us a serious look and then like gave us a simmer down there, bring down the volume. But no, in utter seriousness, we're going to try to bring it down a little bit. I think the Xantid Swarms are going to be a card that he should bring in.
Yeah, okay, so you can look at his board and you can see he's got this plan. He basically has a bunch of one-ofs tutor targets for Burning Wish, and he's got a couple other guys in there to deal with that he actually sideboards. So Xantid Swarm, he's got like Abrupt Decay for kind of Rest in Peace, Helm of Obedience combo sort of thing, or counter top, even more likely counterbalance. So he's got those sort of things. So I think he's just bringing in Xantid Swarm. He could potentially bring in maybe a couple of those Cabal therapies. In fact, I think he probably does. On the other side, Ben Green, what do you think about him?
Well, Ben Green has a couple different things he can do here. First of all, he's going to want to bring in that extra Force of Will just to have a little bit more disruption. He's going to want to do the same thing with Spell Pierce. I think he's going to want to also increase his disruption with Vendilion Click and then put the Geist of St. Traft in as well, because it's a clock that is incredibly effective, and he's got more blue spells then. Now, finally, he has to ask himself if he wants to bother putting in Engineered Explosives or not. Engineered Explosives can do two things. One, if Bryant has put down some Lion's Eye Diamonds and the like, it can nuke them for a 0 casting cost effect and then spend the 2 mana. But that might be just asking for a little bit too much. I would stick primarily with a Click, Pierce, Geist, Force of Will, and then probably stay right there. The Grim Lavamancer is not a particularly great card, nor are Swords to Plowshares. Those are the first ones I would probably drop out of this, starting with the Swords to Plowshares. The Swords to Plowshares, though, one major thing that's good about them, they can kill Xantid Swarms. That's why you keep in your bolts, though, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, you could always get the you counted to get me 4 Exacxies and I swords my own guy.
There is that.
Not ideal, but do want to mention how lucky Bryant got there to top deck that LED.
Yeah.
A number of people pointing out the Lion's Eye Diamond that he top decked off the probe.
The one voice I hear the loudest is Adam Prozac.
Yeah.
Adam Prozac, that's at Adam_Prozac, notes that he did not have a tutor in his graveyard, and he says, the LED rip was sick. # Burning Wish problems.
Yeah.
Thank you, Adam Prozac, and right there with you.
Adam Prozac played Storm, I believe, last week in Indy. He likes this kind of deck.
I think I've seen Adam Prozac play Storm every SCG event for quite a while now, and if you ask Adam, it's one of those things that you walk into a room with any Storm variant that's a rational, smart Storm variant, and you're going to beat a ton of people simply because they have no preparation at all for you.
Yeah, absolutely. He also seems to favor Dredge. We saw him win, I believe he won in Cincinnati about a year ago with Faithless Looting Dredge. If he didn't win, he definitely top-8'd, but I feel like he won. And since he's watching, he could just let us know. Adam, did you win in Cincinnati, February 2011 with Faithless Looting Dredge? Adam, one of our fellow SCG Live commentators as well. I'm doing some commentary with Adam in June, I believe in St. Louis. So
Ben Green.
Looking forward to that.
Think about Ben Green's hand last game. Force of Will,
yeah.
Stifle, Daze, Spell Pierce, can't win.
Yeah, I like that. John Medina, double Force of Will and 1 Spell Pierce, still loses the game. And he missed the Stifle. He forgot about the Stifle in that tweet. So
when we say he missed the Stifle, that's not Ben. We're talking about
John Medina's forgot that there was Stifle, or didn't
comment about how good Ben's hand was.
Yeah, I mean, Bryant is aware that these cards exist to disrupt his combo, and he has built insurance policies into the deck in the form of, Cabal Therapy, or Duress, or, even Gitaxian Probe to see what exactly is there in case things aren't looking good for him. So, Bryant looks like he's kept his 7. Ben, however, not happy with his. Shuffling them away.
Shuffle them up.
Yeah.
Whenever I hear shuffle them up, I can never just not start rapping in my head to Spruik. So
that's fair. I don't think I can not think of that either. Wanted to give a big shout out, since now I know he's watching, to Josh Milliken for the guild pins that he sent to me. I got the whole set, and I'm rocking the Azorius one.
That's
tonight.
pretty slick of him.
I'm very excited to have these guild pins, and I really appreciate that he.
There we go.
He managed to give me his.
Turn 1, we start with Delver, and a engineered explosives for 0, effectively protecting it from Cabal Therapy or Duress. Lotus Petal. He's like, go for it. And we got a Ponder on there as well. That Lotus Petal to protect against a Daze.
See LED, Brainstorm, and one other card, which is the one I believe he drew. So hopefully we're going to get a look at it.
And Delver looks, flips, and I'm going to speak quietly about this right now. That Delver, now an insect, is now a 0 casting cost creature.
Yeah, so that's dangerous. That engineered explosives will take it out. So hopefully Ben realizes that. May not be thinking about it. I think it's natural for a lot of players to count Delver as a 1-drop, and the fact that it flips kind of throws off your mental shortcut there for the casting costs of Insectile Aberration, which, as Adrian points out, is 0.
Ponder from Ben Green. He keeps the cards on top. After much consideration, Bryant Cook now at 16. 1 damage from City of Brass. Brainstorm main phase. All these cards, which one do I put back?
Yeah, he's made a decision on one, trying to decide the other. I think I see another. I thought I saw Ad Nauseam, but then I thought it might have been Dark Ritual. He's at least got 1 Dark Ritual, but he may also have Ad Nauseam.
Puts 2 back, as he is required. Polluted Delta, cracks. Bryant checks with Ben. Ben says, go ahead. Continues forward, fetching out one of his 3 dual lands. Both of these players has full access to the other player's deck list. There theoretically are no surprises in store for either of them other than the choices they might make.
Exactly. And as we saw last game, Bryant sculpting his hand. Of course, Ben doing kind of the same thing. Like, it's gone according to plan for both of these players at this point. Bryant is using his life as a resource, taking some hits from that Delver, Insectile Aberration, while he sculpts his hand and tries to put together both his combo and some protection for his combo. On the other side, you have Ben, plays a threat, successfully flips it so it's actually more threatening, and it is a reasonable clock in the form of Insectile Aberration, and now he would like to sculpt a hand that is full of disruption while also protecting his Insectile Aberration. So Brian's going to take a look at what exactly Ben has been sculpting here with a Duress. At least that's what he would like to do. Now Ben can possibly respond to that and keep his hand hidden information.
If you're just joining us, I'm Adrian Sullivan here with Joey Pasco in this finals match of the Star City Games Open Series here in Washington, D.C.
And Duress resolved. Looks like Lightning Bolt, Geist of St. Traft, and Flooded Strand. So Bolt goes away from the Duress. And the coast is fairly clear for Bryant if he is able to start going off now. He's going to Cabal Therapy and deal with that Geist of St. Traft. Does that, and now passes back the turn. So looks like Bryant's hand was just possibly a couple of lands and a couple of Dark Rituals, but I could be wrong. Okay, he's got a Brainstorm. He's going to play Scalding Tarn, and then Brainstorm there. Brainstorm resolves. Sees a 3rd copy of Dark Ritual. Not quite sure what else. Not getting a great look. I think I see an Infernal Tutor there. Yeah, 3 Dark Rituals, Infernal Tutor. Currently, his the cards he's chosen to keep: Lion's Eye Diamond, and one other card it looks like he's about to put back. Brainstorm finishes resolving, and he's cracking that Scalding Tarn, so we are not going to learn what it was he put back. Of course, checks with Ben to see if there's any Stifles forthcoming for that fetch land. Ben says, go ahead. Underground Sea for Bryant Cook off of the Scalding Tarn. And Bryant shuffles up post-fetch. So, does Bryant try to go off, or does he pass the turn? He showed remarkable patience, as has been noted in Game 1. But if he sees a window, he may want to take the opportunity. Apparently he sees a window because there is a dark ritual. There is a second dark ritual. I think this is Ben thinking. Ben has some sort of response. He cracks a flooded strand, cracks a scalding tarn. And we know his hand, I believe, was just flooded strand at the end of Bryant's last turn. Now he has top decked a Vendilion Click, and that is on the table. So Click, of course, resolves and is going to put the Infernal Tutor on the bottom, and that is bad news for Bryant. And Ben says, okay, you get a new card. Your Dark Rituals both resolve. And, yeah, Bryant fizzles out, has to pass back.
Boom.
Yeah, that was a very timely Vendilion Click for Ben, because not only does he strip Bryant of the Infernal Tutor, but he doubled his clock.
And that is it. Game 3. It's going to go to one final game. Game 3. Both of these players with one win. Bryant Cook, Ben Green here facing off. It's been a long day. 268 players, now down to just these two players.
Yeah, and that was the timeliest Vendilion Click, because otherwise I think Bryant may be able to go off entirely there with that Infernal Tutor. But it is not to be, and we are going to Game 3. Bryant Cook with the Epic Storm, creator of the Epic Storm according to our sources, which is Twitter. Versus Ben Green here in the finals of the StarCityGames.com Legacy Open, live from Washington, D.C. Ben Green playing a blue, white, red Delver variant. I keep thinking of it as rug because that's like my mental shortcut. It seems like a rug deck, but he has access, instead of Tarmogoyf and Nimble Mongoose, he has cards like Geist of Saintraft and Swords to Plowshares, in addition to kind of the other rug staples that are non-green in Lightning Bolt, Delver of Secrets, Grim Lavamancer, Stifle Brainstorm, Spell Pierce, those cards. So,
I mean, you could call this Raka Delver if you prefer.
Raka Delver. How about Flip a Delver?
No,
not Flip.
Raka is the actual red, white, blue combo. What's Flippa?
It's just what you want to do to a Delver.
Flippa Delver. Wah, wah, wah. Ben Green is the number 8 seed coming into this top 8. In order to get here, he first had to defeat Jeffrey Keeper with Junk. Then he defeated Romario Neto with Mud. A pretty diverse path, for he's going to face the Epic Storm here, Bryant Cook. Bryant's path, on the other hand, first he started against Ralph Fitzpatrick with the very innovative Rug Cascade list that featured 8 Cascade creatures, Bloodbraid Elf and Shardless Agent, and a sideboard full of anti-combo hate. His opponent sideboarding in 4 Mindbreak Traps and Forces of Will, and still unable to stop him. Silence protecting his way off so that he would win 2-0. After defeating Ralph Fitzpatrick, he went on and defeated his friend James Higginbottom, playing Esper Stoneblade, and now here he is in the finals. These two players, one last game to decide who will be the champion here in the StarCityGames.com Open Series in Washington, D.C. Looks like Bryant is keeping Ben thinking about it.
He doesn't seem entirely happy with it, but at the same time doesn't seem to be entirely happy with the idea of going to 6 and the possibility of the 6 being worse than the 7. So it looks like he's going to keep. And we've got a Gemstone Mine and a Ponder from Bryant Cook.
If you're just joining us, you've come way too late for most of the event, but not too late to see this last game.
And this is the final game. of SCGDC weekend here on St. Patrick's Day 2013.
Ben Green, Volcanic Island, and go. Polluted Delta from Bryant Cook.
That, I believe, is a Japanese polluted delta, too. It's at least foreign.
Fetches, and Ben says stifle. Gitaxian probe. What else you got over there, Ben?
Yeah, now that you were so eager to stifle, I want to see what you got over there. And we see Volcanic Island, Tormod's Crypt, Brainstorm, Geist of St. Traft. Looks like an island and lightning bolt. That is just an island, yeah. Excuse me. So, Volcanic Island, Basic Island, Tormod's Crypt, Brainstorm, Geist of St. Traft, and lightning bolt.
Ben here leaves it revealed for now.
I appreciate that.
I appreciate that as well. Never mind.
Ben.
This is still the same turn, remember.
It's alright, we wrote it down.
Petal,
oh, you did.
Petal from Bryant Cook. Lion's Eye Diamond. 1, 2. Cracking that petal. 1 counter left on Gemstone Mine. Infernal Tutor. In response, crack the Lion's Eye Diamond. Discards Duress and Gemstone Mine. Now at Hellbent, the Infernal Tutor lets him get anything he wants.
And it appears to be resolving, although they may be counting up Storm here. So yeah, they're counting Storm. Stifle's included in there. So
and
it was,
the Stifle. Don't forget the Stifle.
Right. So they counted. They pointed at it. So we had Stifle, Probe, right? Petal. Infernal Tutor, obviously. Lion's Eye Diamond. Anything else? Or was there something pre-Stifle? Or yeah. He goes with Empty the Warrens.
The last card there. It's going to be a lot of goblins. Is this going to be over? Remember, Engineer Explosives is a possible answer.
Yes, it is.
And Ben Green did have it in game 2.
So Bryant empties his hand, goes off with Empty the Warrens.
This could be the last few moments. It looks like he's going with the tapped, untapped, and dice. Currently 14 untapped goblins.
So it must have been 7 spells. And I think, Ben's like, well, I don't have many outs, and I don't think I just drew one. So that was, I believe, a Misty Rainforest off the top for Ben Green.
Really, right now, he is at find explosives or no.
He brainstorms, finds Daze, Geist of St. Traft, and another Daze. Double Daze and Geist. So
looks like he's going to have to put some cards back, whichever ones he thinks are the least effective. But he's basically in a position where what he's going to need to do is be a lucky ducky and top deck an answer, or else. Two go back. There they go. There are the 2. Lays the fetch land. Lays the Tormod's Crypt. Says go.
all right, Brian Cook with a 2-turn clock.
14 damage.
Ben gonna go to 6 here.
I think everything is going to boil down. What's this?
Brian says, I have a spell.
Cabal Therapy. Let's just see what you got.
I mean, does he name, like, Geist of St. Traft?
I like the beautifulness of that Cabal Therapy.
It is
he can
nice
really just say, you know what, I'm going to have nothing but goblins in play. That's
May as
it.
well just...
Nothing in hand, just goblins in play. What you got over there?
Not sure what he named there, but I don't think he hit anything. However, he could easily just hit anything he wants.
He might have just named an Engineered Explosives just in case Ben left it in his hand.
Yeah.
Because, he couldn't have cast it at that moment. And right now, this is all of the marbles basically going to do a shuffle, shuffle, shuffle after he finds this land.
Yeah, it's on the bottom.
Yeah, well, as far away as it possibly can get.
There are 2, though, so there was 1 on the bottom.
Oh, he gets the lucky Star Wars Tundra.
Is it lucky?
I think so. He's all the way here in the finals.
So you think it's just because of that Tundra? Gosh, I think he's a pretty good player.
I didn't say just. I said the Tundra was lucky.
Okay.
Okay, right here. Bryant doing a sneaky cut there.
It's not sneaky. It's just a cut.
It was the tri-cut.
Well, tri-cut. I'll go with that. All right, Tormod's
He's trying to
Crypt.
Relic of Progenitus himself, but nope. Here we go.
Tormod's Crypt removed both graveyards.
Oh!
There it
and
is.
that is it.
Bryant Cook with the epic storm takes down Ben Green with blue-red white Delver here in 2 games.
Look at this. Planted on his head, a little bit of St. Patrick's Day
Festivity. Yeah,
there we go.
Some shenanigans. Why not? So, yeah, 2 games to 1 here in the finals of the StarCityGames.com Open Series in Washington, D.C. And congratulations to Bryant. Congratulations to Ben Green